Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. We couldn't be more excited for this episode, and it's going to be a good one. We're going to have a few different things coming up. We've got the game of the week, plus the NBA highlights, and as well as previewing the NBA finals, and the Geeks and Greeks news and trivia as always, plus whatever else we come up with on the show as well. And so, let's start this off, and anything new and exciting coming up this week, guys?
NBA finals, man. I'm actually excited for it for literally the first time in my life. I'm actually going to watch.
And you know what? It's something else to do and something else to watch in between football seasons, man.
Right?
It gives us something new to do.
Exactly.
It helps break it up. It makes it more fun. Like, I'm excited for it. Like, I mean, we got the Pacers and the Thunder in here. Pacers are the first time in 25 years they've been to the finals. Thunder's technically the first time they've been there. They were there as the Sonics back in the 70s. When they won, I think it was like 78 or 79, something like that, when the Sonics won.
Damn.
But if you don't count that, this is the first time the Thunder have been there since, I think it was 2008, 9, something like that. I know Durant made it with Russell Westbrook and James Harden before that group got split up. Like the late 2000s, early 2010s, in that time frame.
2012.
But they ran into what was the Miami Heatles with LeBron, Wade, and Chris Bosh. So they just didn't really stand much of a chance at that point because they were all super young. So
I gotta ask, man, what is in the water in Indiana? Like, all of a sudden you guys have like the two best basketball teams in the league? Is that what I'm seeing?
See,
your men's and your women's?
We have a tried and true formula of sucking so bad that you get the first draft pick and then you just fall into a generational talent.
Hey, look, Philly tried that, man. It did not work.
Well, it hasn't worked every time for us either, but...
See, the weird thing is with the Pacers that the Pacers has never had the number one overall pick, like, ever.
Really?
Because they had that stupid ping pong ball bull crap.
Well, the Pacers have never been that bad either. Like,
yeah, I know.
Never bottomed out. The Pacers have always been in the realm of mediocrity. Well, they've always made the playoffs, or if they haven't, they've just barely missed it. So, like, the Pacers have always been kind of right there, and they've just built a team with making the right trades and just kind of signing the right guys off the fringes. So, I mean, Halliburton was traded, and we got Halliburton by trading Domantas Sabonis to the Kings. The Kings drafted him, and they had him and De'Aaron Fox. We traded Sabonis to get Halliburton, and then Siakam, we traded Bruce Brown and a couple draft picks to get Siakam. That's how we got him. And then they traded a few other guys to get Nesmith from Boston. Because Boston traded him, and then we got him on his rookie deal still. So it's like we've made some trades here and there to get some of those guys, and then we signed T.J. McConnell from Philly. Actually, Philly drafted him.
Nice.
So Philly had him, then we signed him in free agency out of Philly. So we've just kind of made some moves like that. Miles Turner, they drafted him 10 years ago, feels like. I mean, he's been in Indy forever. He's just kind of one of those guys that stuck around.
You know, the problem in football, if you build your team through free agency, is they have an issue staying together for a long time. Yeah. And they have an issue gelling for a long time. So,
yeah.
I don't know if that's the best method.
This team's been around for a little while. Like, I mean, they made the finals. They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and they lost to the Celtics. They got swept by the Celtics in 4. But I mean, each game they lost by less than 7 points. And Halliburton was hurt for 2.5 games of those 4. So they didn't have their best player in 2.5 of those games, and they still didn't lose by that much. And then Boston went out and basically swept the finals pretty much. So it's like, I mean, they weren't that far away last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've done a good job of just building the team internally, really. They don't go out and make big trades. They don't swing for high-end major talent. And sometimes it works out, and this is the first time it's really worked out, though, in 25 years. They just happen to be good for the Fever. People always talk about Indiana as being a basketball state. That's only in high school.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Yeah,
A little bit at college, but
I mean, IU hasn't been relevant in college basketball since like the mid 2000s.
yeah,
It sucked.
it used to be the big IU Purdue rivalry, and it's a state divided and all
I mean,
that.
that rivalry's still big, but like lately, since like the 70s or 80s, both haven't been good at the same time for a long time. Purdue's good now, IU's not. It's like it's one of those things where usually one of the teams is good and the other one isn't, but the rivalry's still there. So
but
both haven't been good for a long time.
But speaking of Indiana basketball,
Here comes a new challenger!
we had Pacers versus Knicks last Thursday, and this one irritated the crap out of me.
Oh. I wonder why.
Keep going, man. This was a hard one. This really was, unfortunately.
You know, funny story. I had this game spoiled for me because, you know, we don't watch the games live, and I hadn't watched it by the time I was watching Monday Night Raw. And Michael Cole made a bet with Pat McAfee that Indiana would win. If Indiana won, then Cole had to wear a tank top through the whole episode of Raw. And if New York won, then what's-his-face had to wear a suit. McAfee had to wear a suit through the whole episode of Raw. So McAfee was actually at Game 6 and just broke the whole game down on the episode of Raw right before the whole episode happens. And he's like, yeah, because then I was at Game 6, and he was like talking about how much they stunk in the first one, and they like showed all the way clips back to week 1 where he was doing the choke symbol, and he was like, yeah, because you're New York choked and everything else. And then Cole took his shirt off and he was wearing a Pacers tank top through the whole episode.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like, I mean, Indiana just could not get going. Like, really, Cat carried the Knicks through this game.
Yeah.
Like, Brunson was playing well too, but like Cat really carried them through a lot of this game. On the offense, not the defense, because Cat can't play defense.
Yeah.
And that's really what cost the Knicks this series, is Cat can't play defense.
Yeah.
I got so mad when Jalen Brunson grabbed, I think it was Nesmith. He grabbed his jersey while he was trying to get back on offense.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, so apparently grabbing jerseys isn't illegal now. Come
Right.
on, ref, get your shit together.
Right.
I think it was in this game, but I think it's either game 1 or game 2 in the Garden. Brunson legitimately grabbed Nesmith's arm and hit himself in the face with it and got the foul call. Like, Nesmith didn't... I mean, technically Nesmith hit him because Brunson grabbed his arm and hit himself in the face.
That's hilarious. I missed that one.
That's commitment. I don't know if I should be mad or I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Yeah.
See, that just screams older brother energy. Like, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Right?
Stop
Man.
hitting yourself.
Yeah, it's-
Stop hitting me with yourself.
Yeah. Mom, he's hitting me.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's younger brother getting older brother in trouble.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I can tell you how many times I've done that in my life.
That's baby brother baiting little brother into getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. Especially since Brunson's the smallest guy on the court.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like, I think they said the closest Indiana got this entire game was 10 points. That's the closest. Like, the Knicks jumped out in front
that's right.
at the start and never looked back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first quarter was just so sloppy in general by both teams, really. Like, it just was. And then Brunson had a good first quarter, and then I don't think he made a single basket in the second quarter. Like, he just disappeared in the second quarter. It was nuts.
Like I said, I mean, but Cat picked him up, so he didn't
Yeah.
have to. Like, Cat saved the second quarter for him, and then he sat. But then Cat got in foul trouble because Cat makes these stupid ticky-tack fouls because he just loses all concentration on the defensive end and just makes dumb mistakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, which puts him on the bench, and he got lucky that the bench bailed him out, and they were able to survive because they started making a comeback once the bench came in. But the bench, again, bails him out because the bench is where the defense comes from. Because Cat and Brunson can't play defense. Brunson unfairly it's because he's just short. It's just, I mean, it's one of those things I hate.
We say he's short, buddy. What's he, like 6 foot, 6'2"?
He's like 6'1", yeah.
Yeah.
Which in normal standards, that's not short, but when it comes to the NBA,
Oh.
it's short. Like,
Yeah, he's as
in the
tall as I
NFL,
am.
That's not a short person, but in the NBA, 6'1" is short. It's just a reality of that league. Like 6'1" is a midget in that in
6'2", thank you.
6'2" in
Yeah.
shoes probably. But yeah.
Yes.
But I mean,
6'2" when his wife asks him.
Standing straight.
it's one of those things where when the median height in the NBA is 6'7",
Yeah, you're bringing that average down, buddy. You're skewing the stats.
it's just one of those things where because he's 6'2", it's hard for him to play defense just because of the height. That's really all it is. But Cat being 7 foot, there's no reason why you can't play defense. There's no.
Yeah.
You've been in the league for 10 years. He was part of the 2016 or 2017 draft. He's been in the league for almost 10 years at this point, and he still makes these stupid mistakes.
Uh-oh.
And it's the reason, like,
There he is.
your best two players can't not play defense. Like,
Yeah.
even one's the point guard and one's the center. I'm sorry. You gotta be able to stop somebody. And that's why they lost this series. Because your best two players can't play defense, either because of vertical challenging or because you make
'Cause you
dumb
just-
mistakes.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, how many times has 44 on the Knicks hurt? Damn it, shame it. That's all I
Not
can
much,
think
'cause
of
he
through the
doesn't
whole
play
game.
that
Nah, just on the court, man. I'm telling you. He's been hearing it his whole life. That's all I can
I'm
think
sure.
of every time they said his name.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know, because, I mean, like I said, whenever I do watch the Knicks, Shamit never plays that often. So it's just, he doesn't get to go out very much. So he's got to make his time count.
Yeah.
I'm sure in practice he hears it a lot.
But this brings us nicely into the NBA Finals. So our game of the week is pretty self-explanatory at this point. Just
Right.
watch the games.
There's only one.
There's one.
And game one will be Thursday night on the 5th. Starts at 8:30 in OKC.
All right.
As OKC was the best team in the NBA this year, they will have home court advantage through this. So,
Eh. But you know what? I'm getting rather thirsty. Can anyone talk to me about a caffeinated beverage?
I would love to. It's our new sponsor, Dubby, a new company that brings more natural approach to energy drinks so you don't get that crash, and it's great for contents and gamers alike as well as students. And it's something that I love. They do it. It's also sugar free, so you don't get that crash. And I absolutely love it. I love it for after work or during work even too. I also love it when I'm doing homework, editing, or even late night gaming sessions. It's amazing. They've got tons of great flavors like Tiger's Blood, Mango, Orange and Cream, Green Apple, and Strawberry Pineapple, plus many other limited flavors as well. Go and check them out at their website, dubby.gg. You can also use our code GEEKS10 for 10% off your entire purchase.
Nice.
All right. That brings us into the conversation about toxic teammates. Now, some players are a detriment to their team, causing problems with team cohesion. This can be because of internal problems like physical fighting teammates, publicly criticizing teammates, or defying team administration, or external problems such as committing crimes or civil litigations. No one in particular about that. But I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts about how detrimental to a team can a toxic teammate be. Is it just something you can ignore, or is it literally make or break a season? And if you want to throw out some examples.
Yeah. I mean, I think personally it completely destroys the season. I don't think it's something you can live through at all. And my perfect example is a guy named Terrell Owens. I used to also call him Team Obliterator because of every time he left a team, he completely destroyed it. If you look at San Francisco, which he left in 2003, what was their record? It was 7-9. If you look at Philadelphia, which he left in 2005, what was the record? 6-10. You look at Dallas, which he left in 2008. What was their record? Well, it was 7-9, so it wasn't that bad. But he wasn't doing sit-ups in his frickin' parking lot during a press conference when he was supposed to be apologizing for being a prick. And honestly, I hate him. I've always hated him. My mother once said it the best, that you'll hear me yelling at T.O., but you'll never hear me yelling for T.O. I think it's ridiculous that he's the only man that ever living player to snub being put into the NFL Hall of Fame and went and did something else instead and took a speaking engagement at his school alma mater instead of showing up to the Hall of Fame ceremony. Like, he was a toxic teammate from day one, and it's evident in his 30 for 30. None of his quarterbacks showed up for his 30 for 30 except Steve Young. And why did Steve Young show up? They asked him. They were like, I don't know. I got him his rookie year. I guess I got him before he turned into a jerk. Like, yeah, it completely destroys seasons. This man was a first ballot Hall of Famer who should have been one of the greatest wide receivers of all times, and he should be wearing 7 Super Bowl rings right now. He had more talent in his pinky finger than 90% of the players on the field, but he couldn't keep his goddamn mouth shut. I still, in my dreams, will see him chasing Donovan McNabb back up and down the sidelines, just yipping in his ear, Donovan McNabb trying to get away from him. Like, this haunts me to this day, and it's been 20 years. Team Obliterator is a perfect example of how a toxic teammate just completely destroys the team. And that's the end of my rant.
So I got to jump in on the tail end of this. T.O. was the one that I knew the most about as far as toxic teammates. And it's because everything he did toxic started in Philadelphia. He was okay guy in San Francisco, but he was just bad. In Philadelphia is when he started implying that certain teammates were homosexuals, whether that was true or not. It was not something you did. Implying that the reason they lost the Super Bowl was because their quarterback was tired. And I love that he didn't mention a name, but implied the Eagles quarterback like not everyone would know who that was.
Well, there were so many that played in the Super Bowl.
And he got in a fist fight in the training room because a teammate implied that he was faking an injury. All right.
Yeah.
Insulting his quarterback and his entire team as a whole just right before he got traded. Yeah, all of this stuff. And it was just like, it's almost like he was in a kamikaze spiral trying to destroy his career.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that if someone had duct taped his mouth shut, he would have been one of the best. It's a shame.
Yeah.
And he still was like a top 5 receiver.
I mean, that's true.
Like, that's the crazy thing about it.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
When he retired, he was like number, I think, 3 for yards and like number 3 or 4 for touchdowns when he retired. Like, that's the crazy part about it, is he was still a top 5 in the all-time stats when he retired. Like, that's what's more insane, is he still put up amazing stats and he still got signed. Because he was a terrible teammate and he still stuck around for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And I have to think that being a jerk to your quarterback is going to reduce your numbers, because I think that in the back it may transcend professionalism. But if that quarterback sees T.O. down the field, he's like, someone else.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. He was so delusional, and like, this is just turning on a bash on T.O. segment. I'm sorry, buddy. Like, he was so delusional that he at one point said that Donovan McNabb and him were still best friends not to this day, but like to whatever day he was saying. And he was like, we still talk once a month. And then McNabb was interviewed, and he's like, I haven't spoken to that man since he was traded to Dallas.
He's talking to somebody. I don't know who.
Like, I wouldn't even talk to him when I was in town. Like, ever speak to that man.
The crazy part was, from what I remember from when he was playing, like, most of the time, even when he got traded, he was the best receiver on the roster by a mile.
Yeah.
Most of the time. The only time it was really even close is when he went to Cincinnati, and his hit was him and Ocho Cinco. And it's
yeah.
oh my God, these two and the personalities. I can't imagine what that locker room was like.
That exploded. That ended Carson Palmer's career effectively, man. Like, I know he had...
Going to Oakland ended his career.
Well, yeah, but he went to Oakland because he said he would never play football again if he was forced to play with Terrell Owens, and he sat out an entire season until they traded him, like, right before the trade deadline, and that's what tanked his career. Like, if he had stayed in Cincinnati without Terrell Owens, he would have done fine.
All right, now, since it was brought up, I found split opinion on Chad Ochocinco. Do you think he was a toxic teammate, or do you think he was just a goofball?
Nah, he was just a wide receiver diva. I don't think he was a bad teammate. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
personality-wise, he was just a diva like all wide receivers are.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, personality-wise, those two together in the locker room just would have been absolutely just batshit crazy.
I would say, like, wide receivers used to be. I don't really think we get that diva personality much anymore.
Unfortunately, we don't get those personalities anymore.
I
Just meant
love...
in general, that locker room with those two. I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah. I loved Ocho Cinco. Like, he was one of my favorite wide receivers. The stuff he used to do when they would mic him up on sound effects and you could hear everything he was saying during the game. And he, like, gets back to the bench and he's like, hey, TJ, how come when we play Madden, only you and me catch the ball, but when we play it in real life, other people touch it?
There were some, I can't remember who it was. There were some guys that were mic'd up and, like, they were, like, jawing back and forth, and, like, somebody was trying to get him to say something. Like, dude, you know I'm mic'd up and can't respond how I want to respond. Come on, man.
I love mic'd
It's
up.
not fair.
My favorite my favorite Chad Ochocinco moment was the gold blazer that he made so big that it would fit over his pads.
Yeah.
And it was like, what was it, like Future Hall of Famer or something like
2000.
that? And I just thought it was so funny that the grizzled old sports commentators were like, that's so disrespectful. And it's like,
Right?
it's like,
Why?
dude, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Like, you know he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, is he? I mean, he hasn't yet, right?
Not
He did.
I don't think he has.
I don't know. But, like, I mean, it's going back to toxic teammates. Like,
Not yet.
Something that made me think about it recently has been, because it keeps popping up every baseball season since it's happened, and that's been the whole thing with Trevor Bauer. And it was a guy that got accused of basically sexually assaulting a woman, and it came out later, and he was cleared of all charges. And he's even sued her for lying about it, and has won his cases, and he's been cleared of everything. And he's been proven that she lied about it, and he's won his cases against her, proving that she lied about everything. But he still has never come back to MLB ever since this happened, and that was, like, I think 3 years ago at this point. And he's never been re-signed to MLB.
Yeah.
He's basically been kind of just bouncing around independent leagues in, like, Japan and Mexico, pretty much. And making YouTube videos, and no major league team has signed him since then, and everyone's under the impression that Major League Baseball has blacklisted him and won't re-sign him. And I'm like, to me it says more about him as being a bad teammate, because I guarantee you, because he won a Cy Young in 2020, and if you won the Cy Young,
Yeah.
that good of a pitcher, even if you have some baggage like this and you've been cleared, they'll sign you.
Yeah.
To me, there's a lot more behind the scenes that says something if there's a reason that people aren't signing him.
Yeah.
And the bad teams, because he's even come out and said, I'll take a league minimum contract. If you have a Cy Young level pitcher that says he'll take a league minimum contract, to me, there's something else that says you're a bad teammate if dudes don't want you around. And no one came out to defend him, even after it came out. Like, no one has ever stood up for him. No one has ever come out and said anything nice about him. Like, and it's just like there's more, and the silence to me speaks volumes.
Yeah, the people that know you the best are saying no comment. That means some stuff has gone down. But I gotta say, this is one of my favorite things about sports, is it is the ultimate meritocracy. Your skill is what's going to carry you. If your skill level can overcome your bad press, then you will get signed. And I hate to bring it back up, but T.O. is an amazing example of this. There are 6 teams that knew he was toxic, that knew he was a giant prick, and still signed him.
Yeah.
Or traded for him. Traded other players to get him. Like, I mean, yeah, and it's just one of those things. I mean, when he first got, I don't know if he was arrested, but when he first had the court case with it, the Dodgers had just signed him to a multi-year deal, and they avoided the whole contract. So it's like, to me, if the Dodgers had just signed him to a multi-year deal, and a pretty, substantial one too, he was just coming off a Cy Young award. If they really wanted him back, they would have re-signed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially now, because things would have blown over. I mean, I know they still would have mentioned it when it came back in, but, like, rage subsides. And if it's been 3 years, people are probably not going to be, like,
especially if, he was proven innocent, and he's proven civilly and he's won court cases against her, proving that she lied about it.
Yeah, there has to be something else there, too.
You would be re-signed. And it's funny because they keep showing, like, his stats and everything from, like, the Japanese teams that he's played for and the Mexican League teams. It's not that he's just barely, like, he's pitching well in these leagues. Like, he's got a 1 ERA, like, a sub-2 ERA and everything in these leagues. Like, he's pitching really, really well. Granted, it's, not to the same level as MLB. Japan is the closest one to it. But, like, he's pitching well.
Is there no Saudi Arabian baseball team yet?
There are not. No. It's a little too hot to play in the desert in baseball.
Dude, they play soccer in the desert. Don't give me that. Like, come on. Plus, like, the Arizona Diamondbacks, like, they play in the desert.
They play in a dome, though.
I'm sure there are domes in the country.
There's no baseball in Saudi Arabia that I know of.
I wouldn't be shocked if they do it with all the sports washing they're doing.
But, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't. But as far as I know, there's no baseball over there yet. But Japan is... I mean, baseball is huge in Japan.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, but he's pitched over there. I think he's pitched once or twice in Korea as well. But, I mean, and he's, like I said, he's pitched well. So it's like, he's proven that he can still pitch and pitch well. So there's a lot more going on than just baseball. And it's got to come back to him as a person that nobody wants him around.
Yeah, and that's a serious character defect.
I don't see a reason why they would not want him around other than he's just a shitty person that's a cancer for the locker room that nobody wants. Like, it can't just be PR. It can't be. There have been dudes that have done way worse, that were convicted of the same, if not worse, that have still played in other sports and in baseball.
That are still playing.
Yeah, so...
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know if he was convicted of the same or worse.
Well, no, but...
I mean, Christ, Ben Roethlisberger, it was more than just one woman, and they were not proven wrong. They were proven correct.
They settled, so they settled out of court. It happened.
Yeah.
But to wrap up the topic, I can't leave us being completely negative, so I wanted to bring up some NFL players that have been lauded as superb teammates.
Tom Brady.
Number 1 on the list.
Peyton Manning.
Number 2 on the list. Do you want to go for number 3?
Tony Romo. I have no idea. I'm just throwing one out there.
You went a little too far west. It's Drew Brees made number 3 on the list.
Wow.
He, pretty much everyone you'd expect, all those top-level quarterbacks that are amazing tend to make those around them amazing and are just glowing endorsements from former teammates, and a good number of them became Hall of Famers because of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees.
You mean Mark Sanchez wasn't on the list?
He's on one of the lists, but it's not the...
Wow, he was a toxic teammate? Really? I wouldn't expected that.
I never heard anything about him being a toxic teammate.
Nah.
I would expect Aaron Hernandez to be a bad teammate before Mark Sanchez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. You know what's funny is you remember when Sanchez was playing for the Jets, he one time snuck a hot dog on the side of the field.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he like tried to hide it by like covering it with his hands, but it's like a foot-long hot dog or whatever. And so apparently he forgot to eat the day before the game and he was feeling nauseous, so they told like some like water boy to go get him some food, and instead of bringing him back like a protein bar like a normal person, he brought him back a hot dog. And so he's just shoving it in his face because he was going to throw up. Well, to this day I call throwing up Sanchezing because of that. I need a hot dog, I'm a Sanchez.
So moving along to the news section. We here at the Geeks and Greeks podcast tend to enjoy an occasional video game here and there. So imagine our delight when we found out that the cover of Madden NFL 26 was going to be no other than Saquon Barkley executing his legendary reverse hurdle. And I couldn't be more happy.
Dude, that is awesome. I mean, Madden finally got a cover like just absolutely spot on and correct, because there's nothing more iconic from this last season than that.
Right.
Like, that honestly needs to be stored, and it like 10 years later needs to be one of like the 10-year legendary covers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So watching the video of the making of it, right, I think it's pretty obvious that he's on strings, although you can't see them, which is fine. But it's so funny listening to Philly radio when it first got like announced and everyone started talking about it. It's like, is this real? Like, Howie's not going to actually let him go out and do that again just for a picture, right? He's going to get like risk getting hurt. It's like, no, stupid, they're going to put him on strings. Like, Philly radio is like, he can't possibly do that. What if he breaks an ankle?
Even if you broke, I mean, honestly, if you were to break an ankle, that'd be better than tearing tearing something, because a broken ankle is going to heal a lot quicker than a torn ACL.
I mean, that's fair.
Like, I'd rather break an ankle because that's going to heal up in like 6 to 8 weeks, where an ACL is going to be a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so dumb. But I do also want to say, on a side note of video games, I saw a thing the other day, and it's totally off subject of Madden, but IO Studios, who does the Hitman games, apparently is making a new game that's not a Hitman game, but it's a new James Bond game. Yeah, I'm like super excited. It's called James Bond First Light.
Oh.
And apparently the trailer's supposed to drop like tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
And like, I'm super intrigued by this.
All right.
I'm like, so wait, are we gonna get like a Hitman / Bond, like a Bond style Hitman game? Because this would be pretty cool to like.
Yeah.
It kind of feels more like a Bond game should be. Like, you know, you actually have to kind of plan stuff out, and like it just sounds really cool, and I'm kind of geeking out over it, because like Bond and Hitman seem like they go way more hand in hand like than what they have been making.
Yeah.
Which is more just like a shooter game.
But moving on, Tom Thibodeau was released from the Knicks after losing in the conference championship to the Pacers. After coaching the Knicks for 6 seasons, Thibodeau makes the third coach this season released after losing to the Pacers this season. Michael Malone was released from the Nuggets 2 days after losing to the Pacers by 5 points, and Mike Brown was released by the Kings after losing to the Pacers by 27. Of the 5 NBA coaches that have been fired this year, most of them were right after losing to the Pacers.
Dude, somebody's going to burn down your stadium.
And what's funny is Taylor Jenkins was released after losing to the Thunder. And what's also funny is this is also the second time Tom Thibodeau has been fired after being Karl Anthony Towns' coach. But it's happened to him in Minnesota, too. So
that shit's crazy.
This man fired twice.
That shit's crazy.
This is very reminiscent of the NFL season with the Raiders and Carr, and I forget the coach's name now, but anyways.
Oh, Josh McDaniels?
Yeah. It's the second time McDaniels was fired after coaching Carr. It's like, ugh.
He wasn't fired for coaching Carr twice.
I thought that's what they said.
No, Gruden only... I mean, Josh McDaniels has only been fired as a head coach twice, and this first time was because he drafted Tim Tebow.
which he deserves to get fired.
Right? You don't draft Tim Tebow in the first round. What are you, stupid?
So, I don't understand. How does this guy lose his job? He's coming off 3 seasons where he made it to the conference finals. He had 47 in 2022 and then 50 plus in the last 2 years. Like, why are you firing him?
Hey, Pete,
I don't know. I don't understand why he's getting fired.
I
don't
can
understand.
I can tell you why. And Pete, being from Philadelphia, can relate to this. He'll never get you over the hump.
I mean, okay, that's fine. But at least we waited for Andy Reid to have like a 2-14 season before we let him go or whatever.
That's true. It does feel a little hypocritical. Like, we made it to the conference championship and lost. Fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because they made the second round of the playoffs the last 2 years, and then this year they made the conference championship. They got better.
Yeah.
They got fired.
So a lot of my podcasts are talking about, because of this, is it a fair statement to say that only one franchise gets to celebrate each year? Or should teams be playing for something other than winning the championship? And I kind of feel like you should be playing for other things. Like, I know I have the luxury of saying that since we just won the championship last year, and like we've won two in the last 5 years, 8 years. But like, it's
unrealistic to be playing for a championship every year.
One team makes it.
It is.
Right.
Like, there's very few, like, but honestly, right now, at least in the NFL, unless you're, like, really the Chiefs, there's really no other team that's really playing for a championship every single season.
I mean, Philly might be. We'll see.
I mean, at this point,
their
Philly
offense
might be. I mean,
is really good.
But after this offseason, maybe not. I mean, I don't know.
Defense is decimated.
They got
They
hit.
traded somebody else, too, didn't they?
I think so. Somebody on the
They
defense,
just
though.
traded somebody to San Francisco.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, who knows what's going to happen this year? So it's like, I mean, Philly, I mean, that might be the goal, but I think at this point, like I said, I mean, who knows? But I mean, I don't think anyone should ever expect championship or bust at this point. Like I said,
No.
maybe Kansas City because of Mahomes, but even now, after this last season, I don't even know if you can expect that. Because, like I said, I think they were lucky to get to the Super Bowl this last year.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they barely squeaked their way to it. Barely.
yeah, and my thing is like, I think it is unfair to demand a championship of a team. And that's why I never even want them, I never even demand that the Eagles win the NFC championship. Because it's like, that is a championship game. And to say that you are the best team in this division means you're one of 16. And it's unfair to demand that every year. You know, I mean, maybe it's the D&D player in me, but I know the odds just aren't that way.
Like, I would think, I mean, there are some teams, like, honestly, like, I'm
Never tell me the odds.
I think Dallas, like, honestly, I'm not even sure if I can say Dallas should be a playoff team this year. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because Philly's still really good. Washington is good.
Getting better.
I mean, they played so well last year. I don't know if that's going to be repeated. I don't think the Giants are going to be good, but I mean, who knows what could happen? I mean, I don't think so. I think they'll still give some teams. I don't think they're going to be pushovers like they were last year, but I don't think they're going to be in playoff contention coming into the end of the season. But like, I mean, I think it's going to be a fight for the wild card spot, honestly, for a wild card spot from the other three with Dallas, Washington, Philly. Like,
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, Philly's not winning the division again, but who knows? Who will? I mean,
Never do it
it's not
twice in a
gonna be
row.
repeat winner.
Some bullshit.
But it's like, I mean, but again, it's one of those things. I'm not even sure if I expect them to make a playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, looking at the AFC South. I mean, maybe Houston should be expected to win to get a playoff spot because that division is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, I don't know. Like, Indy got Indy got a better offense than they had last year.
Hopefully.
I mean, their defense isn't bad. I mean, Indy could make a surprising run. Tennessee, who knows? Oh yeah, Jacksonville. I don't know, probably not. But it's like, again, who knows with some of these teams? Like, it's hard to tell. Like, I think the best bet with some of these teams is to expect a playoff push. Like, but that's it. Like, I expect Tampa to win that division, honestly. Tampa or Atlanta. I don't expect either New Orleans or Carolina to make a playoff push this next season. But I'm expecting either Tampa or Atlanta to win their division next year.
See,
But expecting a championship, that's just completely unfair and borderline delusional.
Yeah.
I'm racking my brain, and I cannot remember who said it, but there was an interview with someone who, it wasn't this year, well, because I know it wasn't Philly or Kansas City, but it was somebody they were interviewing, and they asked him how he felt about going to the Super Bowl, and he goes, "Win or lose, I'm honored to be here." And that just rang in my brain, and I just wish I could remember who said it.
Sounds like something Brady or Manning would say, to be honest with you.
That does sound like a Brady or a Manning-ism.
Like, it doesn't matter how many times they've been there. Like, it sounds like something that they would say.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who it doesn't sound like. Aaron Rodgers.
But moving on to the WWE has had some roster changes in the past 6 months, with significant changes, losing Duke Hudson, Paul Ellering, Akram, and Razar. I'm sorry if I'm
Jacob and
butchering.
Razor.
Cedric Alexander, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Giovanni Vincini, Braun
Vinci.
Strowman. These are hard. Eddie Thorpe, the Gallus Trio, and on and on.
Yeah. Most recently,
R-Truth and
Yeah.
Carlito.
Carlito.
And this is just the men's side of the fence.
Yeah. It's such a shame with R-Truth. And, like, it sucks because his last match is losing to John Cena on Saturday Night Main Event. And, like, that's just upsetting. If you knew it was going to be his last match, why didn't you have him win? I know Cena's the champ and you want your champ to be undefeated and blah, blah, blah. So what? Give the man one thing. Like, come on.
He hasn't won a legitimate match on television in forever.
I know.
Give him a real win.
And being the record champ for the 24/7 championship with like 70 championship reigns, that doesn't count.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
a joke title.
You changed hands literally twice an episode. And it was always a joke. A man one time pinned his pregnant wife while she was in labor to win that championship. That's how much of a joke championship it was.
It's so much of a joke whenever we made trivia questions about titles. We had to say excluding that one.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, I honestly I was shocked when I saw that the R-Truth was released. I thought it was like an AI fake post. I legitimately thought it was a fake post because I'm like, no, they wouldn't release him.
Just unceremoniously.
Yeah, like I thought he was legitimately going to retire from WWE because why would they release him?
Yeah, give him a speech or something.
Like, he was legitimately there. He was there as what I always call a veteran vibe guy.
Yeah.
That's just all he was. He was there for the locker room. He was there to pretty much make dudes laugh and just to be a vibes guy for the locker room.
Yeah. I hope they give him a Legends contract. I mean, I think he's old enough to get one, to be honest. He's in his 50s. And you can't wrestle forever, so it's probably the right time. And maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, you gotta tell the guy he's gotta retire because he doesn't want to. But, like, at the same time, you could have done it a better way, I think. And the same thing with Carlito. Like, I understand they're letting him finish out his contract or whatever. But, like, I legit thought he was getting somewhere with Raquel Rodriguez, and I wanted to see that play out. And now Carlito's just going to leave whenever his contract's up and probably retire from wrestling, and that's the end of the Colon family in professional wrestling, which is sad. So, I don't know.
It may be my nostalgia peeking through, but I honestly saw R-Truth kind of taking over one of the seats behind the table and doing a Jerry the King Lawler announcer bit.
He's always so confused, though. Like, if he was like a third man in a third man booth that has like maybe like 50 lines an episode tops in like a 2-hour period, and he just randomly says the most obtuse crap that is just like Michael Cole and Corey Graves, and then R-Truth just randomly saying like, "Who that in the ring? Andre the Giant?"
Like, he'd be the John Madden of wrestling.
It'd be fantastic.
I mean, some of these releases, I don't think are that big of a deal. Like, Strowman being released again doesn't really matter. They didn't do anything with him. He never got back over after they brought him back. The Good Brothers, nobody cared about.
Yeah.
Like, Giovanni Vincini, once they broke up Imperium, nobody cared about him.
I was sad that they broke up Imperium, but like, I don't know if you remember this from our other podcasts we used to do, but when they went to Saudi Arabia and we were making fun of them on the podcast, it's like, can you imagine flying all the way across the world just to be the guy who stands slightly out of the spotlight while someone else is talking? It's like...
Yeah, I loved Imperium though.
I did too. Yeah,
Imperium. I wish they would have kept them. I wish they would have kept them together and brought him back when they brought him back.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, they also barely use Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for him to get released at some point because they don't do anything with him hardly.
Yeah, I mean, he has these like little minor feuds that are meant to put over whoever he's wrestling, and then he disappears again. But like, I'd take Giovanni Vinci over Ludwig Kaiser. Like, Ludwig Kaiser just comes off like Eurotrash to me. And I know that's the point, but like, Eurotrash just, it makes my skin crawl. I don't like him on the TV when like Giovanni Vinci was much more, I don't know, classy, I guess. I know they're both classy, but like one was like actual elegance and the other one was just Eurotrash who thought he was elegant, and that's the one they kept for some reason.
I think that's also the difference between German and Italian.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. You gotta have style if you come from Italy.
Yeah, it's kind of bred into you.
Right. They don't give you a passport if you don't have style. You can't leave our country. In fact, back in the basement.
At least that was the package they always put into. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it sucked, and like, but like I said, the one that hurt the most was Carlito and R-Truth going.
Yeah.
Other than that, most of the rest of these guys, we never would have. If they hadn't said anything, we probably never would have noticed.
Well, and on the women's side, there were some releases that I was upset about with Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan, which, I mean...
Katana Chance and Kate Carter. I love those two.
I did too, but they just didn't get over on the main roster. I wish they would have just sent them back to NXT, because they crushed it on NXT.
Yeah, they really did. I loved them in NXT. It didn't hit the same in the main roster.
Yeah.
But those two were so much fun to watch. I like Dakota Kai, but she was just always hurt.
Always hurt.
And was never there.
Right. And I think it's so funny that she was like the captain of Team Kick and has Team Kick on her tights, and it was always her knees that were going out, and like she had these giant braces on her knees. Like, maybe you should start punching. Maybe then you might have a little bit better of a time.
Team, please don't kick me.
Right. Please leave my legs alone at all costs.
Yeah. I mean, Electra Lopez was okay, but like just never really quite made it. Honestly, I never really saw much in NXT to bring her up, to be honest with you. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, I think they brought her up because of Legato, and then they split up Legato, and it's where is she without Legato? And I mean, that's not entirely fair, but the main roster's women's division is garbage, and they don't book it very well. And you know, you get somebody like her that's an obvious jobber, mid-carder at best, never a champion, and like they're not going to do anything with her because they don't know what to do with her, and they only want to have 8 women to book on the main roster, and she was number 9, so she's got to go.
But to all of these wonderful wrestlers that are leaving us, I will remember you. But on the plus side, or the reverse, we do have Penta, Rey Fenix, Aleister Black, Rusev, and JC Mateo having been brought up on the men's side, and Roxanne Perez, Stephanie
Vaquer,
Giulia. Julia. Really? Julia?
She's Japanese, dude.
Oh. And most recently, Mariah May. I should have just done Mariah May. Forget these others.
I cried a little bit when Mariah May jumped ship. I'm not going to lie. I actually posted on my Blue Sky account, Wrestle Hermit. I was so sad. She had such a good feud with Toni Storm, so much that like it's still part of my cell phone background. I have like a rotating picture set, and the finish, the Hollywood ending with the broken table and everything, that's part of my background on my cell phone. And the fact that she's not going to come back and take on Mina Shirakawa again, like, that just makes me sad all day, but it's okay. At least she'll win a championship and I can have her back on my cell phone.
I love how all the men that came back were basically just ex-WWE guys that have come back to the company,
Right.
except for Ray Phoenix.
Oh, Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
Which, JT Mateo. What? Just call him Jeff Cobb. Like, what the hell? Why you gotta change this guy's name every time?
Because then WWE doesn't get the licensing for
Vince
it.
is dead. I thought that was
I
over.
know, I
like,
hate that they're still doing that.
Ugh.
It's so dumb.
It's still
So
property
stupid.
rights. Shane
Yeah,
owns
it's
it now.
still no. Just let them have it.
right.
So they built the name. Let him keep the name. Everyone knows him as Jeff Cobb. Let him keep Jeff Cobb.
Everyone knows him, Jeff Cobb,
No.
so much that when he showed up on the show, everyone was like, "Oh my God, that was Jeff Cobb!" And then the next time we see him, it's like, "Nope, that's JT Mateo." It's like
Has Joe Hendry debuted yet
on
I guarantee.
on WWE?
no, he's TNA
I
still.
swear to God, if they change it from Joe Hendry, that's gonna infuriate.
Yeah, me too.
I guarantee they're still holding on to the rights to Andre the Giant. I
You know-
promise
Yeah.
you.
I bet you there. The thing with Hendry though, he just dropped his title to Trick Williams. So Trick Williams is now carrying the TNA Heavyweight Championship on
Even though
NXT.
he is a WWE superstar.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. He's pretty much my favorite WWE superstar right now. I don't know if you guys
You know,
watch him at all.
You know, it's funny. I haven't really watched him at all since we stopped doing the other show.
Yeah.
And when we were doing that, he was just the lackey for, damn,
Carmelo Hayes.
it was Carmelo, yeah. And I'm like, this dude's got nothing. I mean, I'm sure a ton has changed in that. Cause that was what, almost 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
That was 22, 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago we did that. We
Yeah.
stopped doing it.
Yeah, a lot has changed, and he's gotten a lot better.
Lot's changed in 3
Yeah, he's probably my favorite wrestler in WWE.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad to see. I mean, I hope they actually do something with Russo now, with Rusev again.
You know, they're basically ripping off the Redeemer gimmick from AEW. So, like,
I mean, I'll give him credit. I mean, when he debuted in AEW, it was a great gimmick.
It was.
It absolutely was. They just didn't do anything with it.
yeah, and then the whole best man gimmick when he was at Kip Sabian's wedding, and then the video game street fight where he was fighting the best friends with a bunch of arcade systems all around the ring. It was so corny. He was having fun, though. I mean, I give him that.
And then he didn't show up on TV for 3 years.
Right, and then all of a sudden he debuts in WWE, and everyone was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
But that brings us along to the trivia section with a single question that I have for you guys. Since the establishment of the 32 team in the NFL league, only 6 NFC East players have completed passes in the conference championship. How many can you name?
Completed passes, as in they were the passer.
Yeah, they were the ones that threw the ball.
Can we name the 6 in the conference championship specifically?
In the conference championship specifically.
Oh my God, I have no.
I have a clue for you if you want it.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts did it twice for a total of 367 yards.
Wait a minute.
Jaden Daniels.
What am I missing here?
Jaden Daniels did it once for 255 yards.
How many? Name the players that have completed a pass in the conference championship from the NFC East since the NFL expanded to 32 teams.
See, I had to do that because there were a ton of them right before the 32 merge.
So you have to remember when the NFL expanded to 32 teams.
Okay, I got you now. So, has Dak Prescott been to a championship? I don't think so.
Nope. Tony Romo never did and made it either.
NFC, so that would be Tom Brady,
Nope. NFC, dude.
That's
just
safe.
Philly, New York. So Eli
Yeah.
Manning.
Eli Manning,
Eli Manning did it twice
Donovan
for 567 yards.
McNabb. Would Donovan McNabb count?
Donovan McNabb did it 4 times for 898 yards. You got 2 left.
Ty Detmer.
No?
So we're gonna have some. We're gonna have like Kevin Cobb.
Nope.
Carson Wentz?
Championship?
No.
He's never been in a championship, I don't think, but Nick Foles.
Nick Foles did it.
Yeah.
Nick Foles did it one time for 352 yards. Now, this is the one that spawned this question, and I thought it was hilarious. And if you just want me to give it to you, I will, because it's impossible to get.
Is this David Akers?
You're on the right track, but the wrong
It's
team.
a kicker.
It is.
It's a kicker. All right. I'm like, this has to be like a random. Okay, so it's going to be a kicker. I just got to.
Nick Folk?
The team.
No.
Not Nick Folk. All right.
So it wasn't the Eagles.
Nope, not the
So-
Eagles.
Well, yeah, it wasn't, because there's Elliott, too. I don't think it would have been him. But,
It's either Washington or New York.
I don't know, either one of their kickers.
I've got.
Jay Feely? That seems like a name that's a kicker. No?
I think Feely is a kicker, but not the one I'm looking for.
Okay.
Which team was it?
The Commanders.
Okay, it's the Commanders.
And I am straight up saying it was the Commanders,
So
not...
it's a new, it's recent, which means it was like this last. So it was this year. It was.
It was
last-
this year.
Yeah.
It was this year.
Oh, who was the? I can't remember his name. I even had him in fantasy.
Was it Youngwei Koo?
No.
No. He was playing
thought
for
he
a
was
red
looking-
team, though, for
I
sure.
thought he was a 49er.
Yeah. I was just
I think Youngwei Koo plays for the Falcons.
That could be.
also a red team. All I can remember is
I
the
think
Marine
he's
Red.
either the Falcons or the Texans, one of the two. Either way, is it
Yep,
Gonzalez?
Falcons. No, it's not Gonzalez.
I mean, I full on
Seaver?
give up.
Nope.
I can't remember his name.
Do you want me to go ahead and tell you?
Yeah.
It's a gentleman by the name of Tress Way.
Yeah, I never would have come up with Tressway.
Nope.
He threw one completed pass for 23 yards this year. So we had 3 Eagles, 2 Commanders, and 1 Giant. Sorry, Cowboys.
Yeah.
No, I knew the Cowboys hadn't made it since they have 32 teams. Because yeah, they haven't made a conference championship since '95.
They've won, like, what, 5 playoff games since 95?
Something like that. Yeah,
Sad.
it is. I mean, to be fair, they were at least robbed of one. I'm holding on to that one against Green Bay. I'm still bitter about no catch my ass. He caught it and rolled twice and then stood up.
Nope, not a catch. Doesn't count.
Catch.
Doesn't count. He didn't complete possession going to the ground or something.
It's
bullshit.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, I know what the rules say, but I know a catch when I see one. What the hell?
Even I love how even if you talk to Packers fans, they're like, "Yeah, no, that's bullshit. That was a fucking catch.
That was a catch. Well,
We
because
should have lost that game."
they know one day they're going to be on the other side of that exact same catch, and they want to be like, "No, that's a catch. I want to be able to say I caught it later."
I'm pretty sure they were. It was with the replacement refs against Seattle.
Yeah, I
the
think there was a play like that.
replacement.
It was after that game when the NFL was like, "All right, no, we got to get the real refs back now."
Right, yeah.
Heck.
All right. Is that all for trivia we got today, Tom?
Yeah, that's it for us.
All right, guys. That's going to be it. Any final departing thoughts for today's episode?
Just a fond farewell to R-Truth, and hopefully you actually do have good pursuits in your future endeavors.
If you're looking for something to watch, I highly encourage the NBA Finals or the NHL Finals, which are hilariously interwoven for the next week and change. And also, we will not be live in the next 2 weeks, but we will have some amazing top 10 lists. Highly encourage you to watch those as well.
Yep. Hope our truth finds some work, and who knows, maybe we'll see him on AEW TV here shortly because they don't have no compete clauses now.
That's true.
So we may see him coming out here, maybe in the Indies, maybe in AEW. Who knows what we're going to see coming up? But sad to see him go. It's the end of an era in WWE, to say the least.
For sure.
But that's going to be it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Don't forget you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Geeks and Greeks. You can also reach us by email at geeksandgreeks360@gmail.com. Until next time, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later, guys.
Peace.
See ya.